That's Twisted.
This is Mark McNeese in New York City with my co-host,
Rick Rose in Shreveport, Louisiana.
And you're listening to The Twist. Welcome to The Twist, everybody, America's only clothing optional podcast. This is Mark, and I am at my desk in New York City. What's going on where you are, Rick?
It's me, and I'm just looking at a bunch of beads sitting at my table. Yes, it's the day after Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras Day. We have entered Ash Wednesday, and all vices have gone away.
So are you going to be doing the ashes on your head thing?
Yeah, I'm going to do that maybe later today. I've got a full day ahead, but I'll tell you the things I'm not doing. You know, during Lenten season, which is about 45 days roughly, I'm giving up coffee. So start the show with some tea, which is rare for me because, you know, I love my coffee in the morning. Almost poured chocolate milk into it this morning to give it a little flavor, but realized it doesn't, not only does it not go in Earl Grey, but chocolate's off my list. So the chocolate milk got dumped down the drain. And the big move for me, Mark, I just want to announce to everybody, the Facebook icon has disappeared from both of my cell phones. So I'm giving up Facebook for Lent.
Now, I know that's going to be a tough one. Did you see a doctor about any sort of medications to help you through that?
No, why would I? I mean, first of all of my doctors are my friends, so they know I give up alcohol. They know I give up chocolate, meat, all the things I give up for Lent. And they're very supportive and they understand it. Now, they do not know, so maybe you're directly asking about Facebook. Is that what you're asking about? Because they don't know I'm doing that.
Well, hopefully you're not friends with them anyways. That's kind of creepy, being Facebook friends with your doctor.
No, oddly enough, I am. And usually that's how I reach them. I reach them on Facebook Messenger when I need to reach them because their work day is busy. And how funny is that's how they call me back. But so do I have to get rid of Messenger too? I think I'm going to keep Messenger.
You can have Messenger without having Facebook. And since so many people use it, I even if I were doing what you're doing, I would keep Messenger because most people don't have my email.
Well, you know, and for work, I use it quite often if I'm trying to reach someone that I don't have their cell number on or their email on. They are on Facebook, so you're right, I can often just messenger them, and it goes in that unknown messenger box or whatever, but they usually respond. Because people on Facebook are so damn curious. They get messages or they get posts, and they just accept things without even know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy, and sometimes it's annoying. But like when we were on the ship, we couldn't text because data and texting are not the same thing. So in our data plans, but you could use Facebook Messenger. So we had a third person who went with us, and it was really easy to just keep in touch with each other on this massive ship by using Facebook Messenger. So keep that, but I'm bravo on getting rid of the rest of it, at least for Lent, you know. You might lose 20 pounds, you know, get off Facebook, you lose 20 pounds.
Well, yeah. To do it that way, but yes. So that means like when we get the podcast up, you need to tag me still because it'll allow you to tag me. I'm not like leaving it. I just took the application off my phone. So, you know, people that are looking at my picture still want to hear our podcast. And that was one thing I was concerned about, Mark, is how do I post that without going on Facebook? So if you could still tag me in certain things, that would be great.
I will. Are you moving around?
No, why?
No, there's the whole audio thing. Whatever. It just is what it is. Nothing we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Move on. You know, you're going to have to move. You're going to have to find an apartment that has really like flawless reception in terms of Skype, and then just move.
How do we know it's not your co-op?
Well, it could also be Skype because sometimes they're buggy.
Oh.
Sometimes the site itself is buggy. We'll blame them, and then I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask for a refund. I want like $5 back.
That's so funny. Isn't Skype free? For me, it is. Yes, it is.
It is free.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why you're being funny, right?
Well, I want credits or something. I want something from these people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk today about our headlines. I got a whole bunch of those, and then my big topic is When We Rise and what that brings up for me. That's the series that just started airing on television about the gay rights movement stuff. And then I got some final thoughts on Facebook, interestingly, and you're going to be talking about some baby queers, I think.
I am. I've got to really base mine on out of the mouth of babes. I love that phrase. Christian faith, or just in literature, if you will, it comes from Psalms 8:2. Of course, other great writers have talked about the power of, you know, kids just have such innocence. And so I'm going to tie in with what you're talking about of the ABC series done by Dustin Black, but I'm going to tie it in with, you know, sometimes it's the things the youth say and the youngsters say without any jadedness to it that we want to talk about. Now, I'll end with a good quote. And, Yeah, we're going to have a good show. We're going to start with some headlines. But, I just want to say, the Oscar thing happened last week, blah, blah, blah. There were tons of headlines out about the mistake made at the end, kind of like what happened in Miss Universe and all that stuff. They announced the wrong winner of Best Film, and then they brought out the right winner, which made me happy because, as you know, I'm a Moonlight junkie.
Yeah, right.
And really wanted it to win. But it's reading about Emma Stone. Did you know this little factoid about her? Because she won Best Actress. And, of course, it was her name that caused all the frustration at the end because they said they had two envelopes. But anyway, she was once on a VH1 reality series. It was going to be a reboot of The Partridge Family. And she auditioned to play the role of Lori Partridge, got the role, but the show didn't survive past the pilot. But if you go online, you can see her singing for that audition. She sang Meredith Brock's song, Bitch. And it's awesome to see her young and early in her career because I have always loved Emma Stone.
Good, interesting stuff. And the Oscars thing, my little comment was that I saw these comments the next day. First of all, we saw Moonlight. I mean, we saw him call La La Land and immediately switch the channel because that was the end of it. And then I woke up the next morning and it was Moonlight 1 and all this other stuff. But I saw comments on Facebook about Faye Dunaway's age. They were like ageist comments, and they weren't necessarily nasty, but it was like, oh, she's old, of course, blah. Because this was before they knew what happened, and it bothered me because, and I said that, it's bullshit. It's like saying that she got the name wrong because she's, the inferior sex. She got the name wrong because she's a woman. Her age had nothing to do with it, as we now know. But it was like that was the first thing some people jumped to was, oh, she's demented. She's like over 50.
That's so not nice.
You are now too, so. You ready?
I know. Long live Faye Dunaway.
Long live Faye Dunaway. I was glad to know she's still alive. I wasn't quite sure.
She looks fabulous.
She does look great. Now, you ready for the headlines?
I am. You start.
Cue headline music. When We Rise. Oh, that's going to be my big topic. But anyways, yeah, that series is now airing. And I'm digging it so far. But anyways, a federal court ruled that the trans sister of Trump inauguration performer can use the gender-appropriate bathroom. The young girl that sang at Trump's inauguration, as most people know, she has a transgender sister, and the sister lives in this school district where a federal court just now ruled that they must allow her to use a gender-appropriate bathroom. Bravo. We gonna alternate or just go through them?
I want to go and alternate.
Okay, go for it.
My title says, this is the name of the headline, Indian teenager wakes up on his way to his own funeral. God, this stuff, I know stuff movies are written of, This teenager was diagnosed with this disease in the hospital or some kind of fever that took him down. He was sent home with his parents. He was there for a short time and then stopped moving and breathing. They certainly believed he was dead, so they scheduled the family arrangements for the funeral. And just 2 short kilometers on the way to that funeral, he rose again. He wasn't dead. Had to cancel the services, no doubt.
That's wild. And in this country, before they started embalming, that used to happen. Edgar Allan Poe wrote at least one very famous short story based on that whole idea of being declared dead when you're not. So that's very scary. Producer pictured in Oscars in memoriam tribute is very much alive, if you were watching that.
Oh, no.
Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, they did the in memoriam thing up on the screen with all the different pictures of people who have died this year. And the image showed Jan Chapman. The person who died was Janet Patterson, and she worked with somebody named Jan Chapman. And boy, the Oscars really blew it this year in a couple of these things. But they put a live woman's picture on there.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Speaking of, doesn't that tie into what you just did? It's like, I'm not really dead.
Nice segue, Mark.
Yes.
Here's mine. It's about podcasting. You'll love this one. I'm sure you saw it. Missing Richard Simmons is gripping and also kind of icky. Richard Simmons, had been in the public eye for about 40 years.
Oh, yes.
Very larger than life, as we both know.
Smaller and larger than life.
And larger than life. He's disappeared a few years ago, as many people know. So one of his friends, his name is Dan Taberski, decided to start his own podcast about it called Missing Richard Simmons. So the core of it is compelling and mysterious, like, the ever popular podcast Serial. But they say it's kind of weird because they start to wonder what happened to him. As a lot of speculation. Is he going through a sex change? Some people believe that. Some people believe he's under the power of a maid or a server or a cleaning lady that's keeping him captive and abusing him in his senior years. So check it out, guys. It's called Missing Richard Simmons.
Interesting stuff. Tennessee declares war on same-sex families, and the couples. So, we could just have innumerable podcasts about this because it's not going to go away anytime soon. But you've got states now that are emboldened, I think, in part by the election. But they're like trying to basically strip us of our rights. So they can't deny us a marriage license at this point. But they can try to make sure that we don't have any of the rights and privileges that come with those licenses. So in Tennessee, there three bills have been put forward. One is to House Bill 1406 would prevent a couple from listing on the birth certificate the second parent if the baby was conceived by artificial insemination. I would think that would affect straight people too, but it's really aimed at gay people. And then there's two more bills. One is they're trying to pass a bill that basically would ignore the Supreme Court and declare that a marriage is only recognized as it's defined in the Tennessee Constitution. And then there's a third one stating that the words husband, wife, mother, and father must be used. So I'm not quite sure how that plays out because I didn't read too in depth about it. But basically, they're just trying to fuck us, and nothing new.
That's crazy. This one comes out of New Mexico, speaking of states. The headline is Accused Drunk Driver Does Cartwheels During Sobriety Test. So I love this one.
Wow, I love that.
23-year-old New Mexican woman was arrested last Friday on DWI charges, or DUI in some states. It was all caught on camera. Kept going and doing and spinning her cartwheels even after Albuquerque cops told her to stop. Her name was Brielle Marshall. Shout out to you, girl.
Yes, and that's one of those few viral videos that I would watch. That sounds awesome.
I know. I'm going to go check it out. I just read the story, but I want to see the video.
Now, we have yet to see Moonlight. It's the very top of our list, me and Frank. I'm not really interested in La La Land. But anyways, so there was an article in Salon about Moonlight being the first LGBT movie to win Best Picture and why that matters. Now, people may not be aware of this, but Brokeback Mountain should have won and did not years ago, and a lot of that was credited to perceived homophobia in the movie industry. But anyway, so Moonlight is a queer movie, however you want to... I mean, blacks are claiming it also, which is great. But it's definitely a queer movie, and it's won Best Picture, and it's our time, man. It's about time.
Well, yeah, I want to comment on that, too. It's a headline, but it's not a weird headline. But it ties in with it. The men of Moonlight are now Calvin Klein underwear models. I don't know if you saw that. Pretty cool. There are four main stars. One of them, one supporting actor, which is awesome. And he's an older gentleman. And he's posing nude, not nude. He's posing for Calvin Klein, virtually nude. And then my favorite of the four, I just love this young actor out of Texas. His name is Trevante Rhodes. He's doing it. And then, of course, the little boy, because his three actors play him during his lifetime, the lead character. But the little boy, of course, just does Calvin Klein t-shirt modeling. It's pretty cool. I just had to comment on that. It's getting a lot of attention. It's the second campaign under the current creative director of Calvin Klein. But here's my next headline. You ready for this one, Mark?
Yes.
This one's kind of weird, but I have to say it. I like shock value. What I mean?
I know you like that. You enjoy it.
Okay, so here it is. I gotta find it now. I just lost it, and it was so good. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Would you let an old woman lick your eyeball clean?
Well, that's weird. What is that about?
Shocking. This is true. This is a woman out of Serbia, I believe, Bosnia. I stand corrected. 80-year-old woman. Her name is Hava Selevic. She has promoted that there are 5,000 people that will testify that it really does work. She has successfully used her tongue to remove pieces of lead, iron, coal, sawdust, glass from eyeballs, but naturally she gives them off a good swill around the alcohol first.
So weird. That's even worse than a cat licking on you.
It's disgusting. She charges 10 euros. I don't see it. She's done this for 5,000 people so far.
Oh my God.
Gross.
Speaking of gross, it's funny because we keep feeding into each other's headlines here. A French artist living inside a rock surrounded by excrement. He says he feels completely at ease. Now, he's like a performance artist. He's entombed inside a 12-ton rock, and he's been there for nearly 3 days. Of course, now it's been longer since I printed this out. But he describes the experience like tripping, because I imagine it's like being in suspended animation or whatever you call it, sensory deprivation. But he has to poop, and it can't go anywhere, so he's just packing it around himself.
Oh my God!
I hope he
nasty.
survives. I hope it's not a trend.
That's so nasty. Speaking of shit, and this one got a lot of attention. It's a headline in various forms across various platforms, but witches plan to cast mass spell against Donald Trump. The key ingredient to the ritual is an unflattering photo of the president. This is out there, folks. They say that it's really happening. That there's that the witch community is asked to plant a spell against them every day or every week or something. It didn't get too far in the story. I just like the headline.
I like it too, and I like it that people will, by the time they get to this very moment, they will have heard my scream sound effect, because that will go with that. I don't know how many more you got.
I got a couple more. You go.
Well, I don't want to keep doing the bathroom thing. Trump, of course, is not going to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I applaud that, because I think it shouldn't even exist. Now, I went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner twice when I worked for Reuters. I was working the table. I was not a celebrity. I know that's a surprise to you, but I was working it. But it's just a bunch of schmoozy bullshit, and correspondents should not be doing that anyways. And a lot of them, the New York Times isn't doing their party. There's folks who aren't going this year because Trump has made, one of his main initiatives to basically delegitimize the media and the legitimate news organizations, which is his thing. But anyways, I would like to see the thing ended completely, because I think it's bullshit. They shouldn't be doing it anyways, and he's not going, so who cares?
Oh, that's interesting. I'll end with this one. Buddhist monk charged with stashing 4 million meth pills in monastery. Yes, my news is from around the world today, it seems. But this is in Myanmar. I can never say it right. Myanmar. A Buddhist monk had been arrested. Originally, they found 400,000 pills in the monk's car. They eventually searched the monastery and turned up 4.2 million pills. That doesn't seem likely.
What kind of pills? Ecstasy? What is it?
No,
Molly?
meth.
Meth? Monks doing meth? That's so not meditative.
Well, he must be
How
selling
can you do meth
something
and meditate?
worth $4 million in street value. Meth and meditating, yes. They found it along with a grenade and ammunition. I don't understand, but it's true. It's a true story.
What do you think?
They say that Myanmar, which I didn't know, is a major producer of methane and exports it or something.
By the way, I call it Burma because it was Burma until it was taken over.
Oh, you just helped me out because I always see it and I didn't know really what the country was.
Myanmar. When you call it Myanmar, you're giving into the junta that took it over. Fuck them.
Interesting.
Can I do two real quick?
Sure.
Because they're fabulous. One is Prince Charles plans to make Camilla queen as soon as the old lady dies.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yes. I don't know if it's true. Who knows when the world full of fake news. But apparently Charles he's been wanting Camilla on that throne for a long time, and he's getting old himself. These are not young people.
No.
So anyways, he's gonna make her queen as soon as his mother's gone. And then my last one, thousands of furious Trump fans can't stop visiting a website that pretends Clinton won. This one was precious. I love this. Some woman started a website that, it's all news as if Hillary had won the election. And it's got like Shonda Rhimes writes Hillary's first State of the Union. Anyways, it's really fun.
Oh, wow, that's fun.
It's satire. Fun. That's all. It's satire, but it's funny. But the Trump folks are like furious. Like, so anyways.
Oh, my God. That's funny.
Yeah, isn't that a wonderful antidote to everything that's going on?
Yeah, I didn't know that existed. All right, I'm going to end with one more because this was a classic headline for the Northern Territory News, which is out of Australia. Have you ever heard of the Northern Territory News? It's called NT News.
No, is it gay?
No, it's kind of like the Mirror or kind of like New York Post or something. But one of the all-time classic shocking headlines over the last 10 years was this one. Best man left bleeding after being hit in the head by flying dildo.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's a true story. He was at a bachelor party, and the stripper pulled out her dildo and hit him in the head. But this week's headline on NT News was a picture of Urkel from Family Matters. Of course, I used to work on that series.
Jaleel White.
Yes, and it's a picture of Jaleel White, and it said, "Did I see that?" And then under it says, "Steve Urkel looked like wanted by cops to find perpetrator." Who would have thought that all these years later they brought back Urkel to be on the cover of the headline of a newspaper in Australia?
Well, and see, I thought he grew up to be Lester Holt.
Well, that's what people say, but I don't think that's true, Mark. Not to.
He does act though. He does act. Every now and then I'll see his name on a credit, and he's like, but he gets like 2 lines.
It probably looks the same, doesn't he? Urkel.
Okay. Loved him. They were fun today. See, we got to keep it fun. These were fun stuff.
They are fun. They are fun.
Basically, except for the things that are horrible. Now, you ready for our big topics? My big topic is When We Rise, which is the series. Now, we watched half of it because my husband was weary, so we recorded it. We'll keep watching it. But I really liked what I saw, and what I immediately noticed was the memories, the emotional memories, and the thought memories that it brought up for me, because it starts out in 2006, but then it immediately goes back to 1971 and the cover of Life magazine that included all these changes in the year, and gay liberation was one of them. But I was so much like this character like Cleve Jones when he was a kid, or when he was young, I should say. He's quite a bit older than I am. But anyways, I remember ordering. Are you waving your fingers at me? But I remember him ordering. I remember ordering books from the Psychology Today book club because I knew that I was gay. I call it same-sex attracted at a young age, because to me gay is an identity, more of an identity, and when you're 7 or 8 you're not gay. But I knew that I liked boys, and I never had a problem with that. But I thought I was the only one. So when I was a teenager, I was looking up Psychology Today book club books on homosexuality, and there was a book called On Being Different by Merle Miller, and I stole it from the bookstore, just like this character steals Life magazine in the TV show. So it brought back all this stuff. It's like, oh my God, I lived through that. Was my life. I didn't go to San Francisco. I went to LA when I went to California when I was 18. But anyways, I just really like it, and I like seeing it on television, and I like seeing same-sex kisses. It's not lascivious. Of course, they wouldn't do that on network TV. But I think it's an important thing to do, and I think the timing is very good with what's going on.
Yeah, I read a lot of his reason for it. I think they did a premiere over by you in the East Village actually last week, on Wednesday or something. And he basically said now's the time to stop the backlash. And Black said this. He said now's the time to really let people know we can stop and reverse the backlash, and we can push the momentum forward again. Was his actual quote. I like that about it.
I do, and it's I know that because I'm not a hypercritical person. I criticize the powerful. I criticize people who are, or perceive themselves to be superior in some way. But I never criticize. I don't even like doing book reviews because I don't like criticizing our other artists. I believe that we all do the best we can. And when you put something out there, you did what you wanted to do and it made it what you wanted it to make. So I'm not into this critical shit. That's why I couldn't really be a good book reviewer or movie reviewer. But no, there's some queers who are like, oh, they don't do this, they don't say that, it's not this, it's too white, the usual shit that everybody gets upset about with these things. But I really just let it be what it is, this series, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's cool in that, I guess when this thing did happen last Wednesday, the screening of it, and it really was the same day as the backlash, when Trump announced that the transgender bathroom situation would be decided by the states, not the federal government, and kind of reversed everything that Obama had been working towards. So there you go. I mean, the significance of this coming on now is great. Of course, it was paused last night because of the presidential, whatever you call it. What do you call it? I'm so sorry. State of the Union address.
What do you mean? It was on Monday.
It was on Monday. It's a 4-part miniseries. So
I thought it was a weekly thing.
No, I got to let you know it's on again tonight. So it's
a
4-part. So for those that are interested in watching, it's a 4-part docudrama or documentary. Or whatever it is. But last night they took a break. It's back on tonight. Don't miss it.
Oh, well, we DVR'd it, which is great because I didn't know. I hope that doesn't. We're not going to be forced to watch the. It wouldn't record the State of the Union. I hope.
I don't know how it does. Did you type it in by name?
Yeah, I recorded the series. You do it with the series, but I didn't. We didn't watch a State of the Union. And to be honest, I never watched them. It's not like, because here we go with the Facebook thing. That'll be my final, my a little later on after your big topic. But what was I going to say? I never watched the State of the Union. So like watching people on Facebook like flipping out over Donald Trump's State of the Union. It's like I never watched I didn't watch it when it was Obama. I didn't watch it when it was Clinton. I don't watch these things, so I'm not going to suddenly pretend to be all upset about the shit he says in the State of the Union because I don't watch them.
Well, but being on Facebook, I'm not going to really see too many of those headlines because sometimes they blast up, sometimes they don't. Out of the mouth of babes, yes. Oliver Wendell Holmes back in 1859 said, not only out of the mouth of babes and sucklings, but out of the mouths of fools and cheats. He talked about it a lot. Rudyard Kipling talked about it in 1906. Again, Puck translated Cadmiel in the strange, solemn-sounding language. He said, out of the mouth of babes do we learn. I love that, because it's so often those innocent kids that haven't been, like I said earlier in the show, that haven't been tampered by experience yet, that really speak volumes. And I want to just highlight three very briefly, kids that are in the news. Of course, the first one is Gavin Grims. Of course, transgender kid that is taking the transgender issue to the Supreme Court, saying that, this is a big issue. And of course, with the recent White House administration changes in course for, bathroom rights, if you will, this is timely. And Grimm's words are very valuable for people to hear. But his quote from him on the phone Wednesday after the reversal happened, he basically said, transgender students pose no threat to the safety or privacy of non-transgender students. We all just want to be able to do well and succeed in school while still being able to be ourselves.
Excellent.
Love about the babes. It's awesome. I also read a story about a 10-year-old girl. She's transgender. 10-year-old girl named Rebecca. She spoke at a rally last week in support of transgender students and their right to be protected from discrimination in public schools. Because as you and I both know, we can start with bathroom discrimination, as I see it, and that will lead to a bigger thing. But she's the one, if you go online, she's got her purple hair and her pink tennis shoes, dressed very much like I would. And she's holding up a sign saying, I'm the scary transgender person the media warned you about. And she's just making it known, I'm just a kid, guys. Don't let me scare you. And she gave a very impassioned speech, just really wonderful, just out of her mouth, just saying, I am who I am. Why are you guys, making me evil? Why are you making a victim? Why are you making me any of these things? I'm just Rebecca, and I'm standing up here to let you know my feelings. It's a great photo. It's going around on the internet. And then the other person I want to mention is a 17-year-old football player. This guy's name is My King, MY-KING Johnson, out of Tempe, Arizona. He is committed to play for the University of Arizona this fall and came out publicly as gay in a newspaper interview. Now, we know the year of gay athletes was kind of last year when you really looked at it, or a couple of years ago when the NBA star came out, and then it started to roll. But this boy has been out since he was 12 years old. He started his high school career at Tempe High School, raised by a wonderful mom. Said his challenges were big at 12, but he knew he had to come out to everybody. He came out to his mom last of all people because he was very close to her. He said, it's simply a part of who I am. His mom commented on it. She goes, quote, I love you for who you are as a person. Sexuality, it doesn't matter. That's how I teach my children. Love who you are, and no matter what you are or what you look like, you have to love yourself. If you love yourself first, then everybody else will respect that and have no choice but to love you. And he's out there doing his thing. Beautiful, strong, kid named My King, who's out there just talking it like it is at 17 years old, just being who he is. Love that.
I love that too. I love that too. And I saw somebody made a comment, an adult, after the DeVos, after Trump, rescinded the Obama order. A parent, an adult said, kids they don't have any problem with transgender kids with their peers. It's the adults. Right. It's like, it's fucking Mike Pence and who's the other one? Sessions. From what we read, Sessions is the one that overrode DeVos, which I wonder how much of that was a game, because I just can't imagine Betsy DeVos wanting to protect trans kids. But anyways, it's the adults that get wigged out over this crap, and I, it's always been that way. But then I wonder too. Do we change as we get older? Are the kids today who are so accepting, are they going to turn into their fucking parents? Because look at all the hippies that turned out to be assholes.
That's right.
I don't know.
That's right. Interesting.
My final thoughts.
Get some final thoughts. Yes, you're talking with me today.
Mm-hmm, Facebook fatigue, not Skype fatigue. We can never have Skype fatigue.
No, God forbid.
By the way, I wanted just to let you know there's just a moment of silence because Twisty has been terminated. C voted for Trump, and so C's gone. But
whoa! You don't just throw that at me and ask for silence. When did you find that out?
Well, C was texting me this morning and was talking about how awesome the State of the Union thing was, and I said, seriously? And C wrote back and said, I voted for Trump. I said, listen, Twisty, I love you, and I wish you well, but we're done here. So.
Oh my God! And then did you do the Donald Trump? You're fired. Did
yes. You? Yeah, I know. But Twisty was awesome, and I have no hard feelings. It's just.
Oh my God! Do you have his email? Do you have their email?
You got to keep your environment positive.
Well, let me know how to reach her, because I'd like to tell they that. Never mind. I couldn't handle it.
No,
anyway, Mark.
Right, I was tired of talking about her ass, so their ass, so I got rid of her.
Z's gone. All right, let's talk about some other.
We'll come up with some other fun thing. Facebook fatigue, which is what you talked about doing for Lent. Now, of course, it's not new. This article that I read was actually from last year, but then I saw it come up again recently. And I understand it, because Facebook now, it's funny because for years, for 10 years, it was all about cats and viral videos, and here's me and my mom on a picnic and all this other happy crap. But since the election, Facebook has become extremely political. And, depending on who your friends are, who your posse is, all I see is like, I can't stand Donald Trump. And like, people are so agitated about it. I don't want to be agitated. So folks are getting burned out on it. And I think maybe that's a good thing. I have a sister who dropped off again, and she didn't unfriend me. She dropped off, and she's done it before. And I think it's because people just get overwhelmed with all this stuff. It's like, I don't want to just go on there and see happy crap, because I scroll through that, but I don't want to go on there and just poison my morning every morning looking at people like rejecting Trump, and I can't accept this and I can't accept that. And I'm like, well, he's the president. What are you going to do? Try to initiate change, but people are getting tired of it. And maybe that's a good thing. Facebook is getting a little long in the tooth. So maybe it's time for some folks to start realizing that there are other things to do in life and focuses to put themselves into. I'm tired of it. You are too. You're giving it up for Lent. I hope you're going to be okay.
You're right. Well, I've had this. Yeah, but like a year ago, I thought I was getting tired of it, and then I stuck with it. I think you're right. It's like an opiate. It's like a drug. You just stick with it, and the longer it's in your face, the more you play with it. And that's what I'm giving up, because, I'm that way with alcohol. You give me a glass of tequila, and I'll roll all night. Keep it away from me and pour me seltzer water, and I'll roll all night on seltzer water. It's just, I'm one of those people. It's like, hey, give me something that's addictive in any way, and I'm going to roll with it. So fortunately, my other addictions have not caused, my life to be challenged, nor has Facebook for that matter. But I'm thinking I'm going to get a lot of free time. I think I'm getting a lot of minutes back each week by not using it. Don't you think?
A lot of them. And one thing that I've tried to do for a long time, and I just keep failing, is to say no iPhone for the first 2 hours of the day. I write novels in the morning. I do all kinds of stuff in the morning. But as soon as if I get up really early and I'm not ready to get up yet because it's too early, I'll get my phone and start looking at headlines and looking at Facebook, and it just starts me off on the wrong foot, and I can't seem to break that habit. But when I do, it works really well. Like when I just leave you can even turn it off. Leave your iPhone off till 8 o'clock every morning. If you get up at 6 o'clock, leave it off till 8 o'clock. Nothing has to be responded to right now. And it can start to change. You can certainly start to be more productive and use your mind in better ways.
Well, that's a good point. I'm hype. What's the word? I'm a emo person or something. It's like I'm affected by other people's feelings. I'm one of those people.
You're an empath. You're just like on Star Trek. You and yes. Whoopi Goldberg. She was an empath.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm empathetic. Oh my God.
Of all the times
reach out to her.
You broke up, but what'd you just say about Whoopi?
I said we need to reach out to Whoopi to see if she could be our new intern when her show ends.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she would be happy to do that.
She might.
Although maybe Rosie O'Donnell, because she can't seem to get a gig. She's on this When We Rise, but she was trying to get. She wanted to play Steve Bannon on SNL, and apparently
you can't push things too hard.
Yeah, they weren't having it. I mean, come on.
Well, they already created the idea of the Grim Reaper. You know what I mean? So I don't know why they're doing that. But anyway, all right. I got to shower and get off to work, but we're going to end with a quote for the day. So I don't know where you want to head with the final quote, Mark. We got a couple options. It's going to relate to Moonlight. So I'm going to give you some options. It could be dialogue from the show. It could be a speech from the Academy Awards, an excerpt from that.
No
got
speeches.
That.
I'm done with this.
No speech. We've heard that. It was wonderful. McCraney, one of the writers, Terrell
if
McCraney.
It's a sentence, okay, but not a paragraph.
Well, no. I mean, basically, I'm going to say it now in a paraphrase, so it won't really be the quote. But he basically, when he won Best Screenplay with his co-writing partner, he said this goes out to all those little black and brown boys and girls and
gender non-conforming
kids. Yeah, it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Then I was going to end with a quote about Moonlight. That's not really about the film, but it's by E.E. Cummings, who was born on my birthday. Wonderful poet, but it might be too deep for us.
I love it. No, read it. I love it.
Really? Okay, yeah. I'm going to do that. And then I was going to quote from the show. We'll save the quote for another time. Here is an E.E. Cummings poem about Moonlight, and I think it kind of sums up our show, which I like to do, and sums up our week ahead. Here it goes, Mark. Who knows if the moon's a balloon coming out of a keen city in the sky filled with pretty people? And if you and I should get into it, if they should take me and take you into their balloon, why then would go up higher with all the pretty people than houses and steeples and clouds, go sailing away and away, sailing into a keen city which nobody's ever visited, where always it's spring, and everyone's in love, and flowers pick themselves. E.E. Cummings.
And there's no punctuation or no capitalization.
No, a few parentheses. I love that poem, though.
Yeah, it's a beautiful poem. And it's, this has been such a positive episode today, positive podcast. I love that. That's what I want to do. That's how I want to be.
I love it, Mark. But then Twist is going to be jealous because he's going to be like, "Oh my God, I wasn't there."
No, they'll be fine. And I listen. I promised whatever great references he needs. It's not a problem.
Good for you. Look at you.
I can see you, but you're breaking up, so we're going to end this. Thanks, everybody, for listening to The Twist, America's only clothing optional podcast. And we'll be back next week. Ciao.
Bye, everyone. Bye.